Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing? Welcome to Big Talk with Bruce Dickey here on Wabash Catch TV. My name is Bruce Dickey. Kevin Greene is here. He is the head football coach. I wonder if I changed this graphic. Yes, I did.
There we go.
We've all gotten to an age where you forget whether you did stuff, right?
Yeah, you think about doing it, and then did I actually do it or not?
I meant to change that graphic, and I'm glad
we got it done though. That's
I'm
good.
glad
That's
I
good.
did. So yeah, Kevin is here, and we're going to talk about Salem High School football today. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a lot of fun as the Wildcats look forward to their upcoming season. And what is this, your 10th year? Ninth year?
This will be number 13 at Salem.
At Salem.
Yep,
Wow.
25th overall as a head coach. So
Wow. Oh, that's
they just fly by.
Don't they?
They fly by.
You know, and you look like it could be your fifth.
I appreciate that.
It's such a
that.
young visit.
I don't feel like it all the time. I appreciate it.
Let's tell you a little bit, though. Thanks very much for watching Big Talk with Bruce Dickey today. And we're going to talk. Let's tell you a little bit about what's going on here on this beautiful Thursday, July 27th. Oh, there's a few things going on. It's always here in the summertime. You tend to get a little bit more busy as the weekend comes up, and folks haven't started their festivals yet for the most part because fairs are still going on. Small town festivals will typically start in August, so that's coming up. And locally here in Flora, the Clay County Fair continues on. I believe Thursday night is pageant night. I think it's the Junior Miss Pageant tonight at 7 o'clock at the Clay County Fair. So keep an eye out for that as well. That's down in Flora, at the Charlie Brown Park, at the fairgrounds down there. What else going on today? Over in Albion today, the Hope Center at 23 West Cherry Street in Albion will have their cancer support group meeting that they host every fourth Thursday of the month. The group meets at 11 a.m. and it's again at the Hope Center in Albion. It's open to cancer survivors as well as to current patients, caregivers, and is led by Felicia Smith and Dan Woodward. If you want more information, by all means, give them a call at 445-6028 or I don't recognize that number, 858-945-8468. So give them a call however you want to get a hold of them. Also going on tonight in Salem, I've been talking about it all week long, and I don't know that I don't think it's a Bible school thing. But it is at tonight is not at the Christian church, but the First Christian Church is hosting the Kids Zone swimming party tonight. So if you're a child from, a potty trained a 3-year-old up to 5th grade students, you can go to the Kids Zone party tonight from 6:15 to 7:45 there in Salem at the Family Aquatic Center. The big pool party, it concludes their week that they've had a nice week all week long with inflatables and stuff at the Christian church. It's a nice way to kind of, in the summer, so it's only like 2 or 3 weeks till school starting, so get the kids out for a fun pool party tonight. Also, going on this evening up at Lake Sarah, at Pinky's, they're on the lake. They will have from 6 to 8 p.m. tonight live music, Not Petty. Instead of Tom Petty, it's Not Petty. They're playing Tom Petty stuff. It is a couple of acoustic guitarists, and they'll be out there playing some good Tom Petty stuff. But you can go online and find notpetty.com and find out all about them. But that's a good group. They do a nice job. And again, that's at Lake Sarah up there tonight at Pinky's on Lake Sarah, starting at 6 o'clock. What else going on today? Well, ladies and gentlemen, today it's a national holiday, and this is one of my favorite national holidays. I get this whenever I see it on the menu, but I don't get to restaurants often enough where I see this on the menu. Ladies and gentlemen, is National Creme Brulee Day. National Creme Brulee Day presents an opportunity to enjoy a mouth-watering custard for dessert. Since there are several flavors, don't miss out. Creme Brulee is also known as burnt cream, crema catalata, and Trinity cream. The dessert consists of a rich custard base. The custard is then burned, topped with a layer of caramelized sugar, and then chefs achieve this final layer by using a small propane torch. While vanilla is the most common custard in creme brulee, the dessert can come in a range of other flavors of coffee, citrus, nut, chocolate. Other fruit flavors will find their way into the menu frequently. However, unique flavors such as green tea, lavender, liqueurs, and even savory creme brulee can also add an interesting finish. The earliest known, okay, quiz time. When do you think, guess? Do you like creme brulee?
I've had it. I like it. I don't have it very often. I have a creme brulee flavored creamer in my coffee quite a bit, but
Really?
yeah, it's
See,
pretty
now
good.
that sounds good too.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
See, now that's my favorite way to enjoy the end of a good meal.
There you go.
Is you have creme brulee, then you have the cup of coffee, and then maybe a Bailey's or something.
Okay,
to add
fair
in.
enough, fair enough.
I mean, I'm not a smoker, but people like cigarettes. I don't.
No, me neither.
But you know, that's the way to finish.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you ever? What year do you think was the first appearance of creme brulee in a cookbook? I will give you. What century?
Okay. Narrow it down for me.
I will narrow it down. I'll give you, if you get the century right, we'll call it good. I've got prizes for you.
Okay,
too.
I would say it's been a minute. So, 1842.
That's a great guess. You're about 150 years old.
Dang it. Okay.
1691.
Okay, all right.
Francois Masselot. I didn't expect you to know the name.
Okay, I appreciate that.
So yeah, today is National Creme Brulee Day. Do enjoy that. Now, if you don't want to go to the fanciness of creme brulee, and I admit it is a fancy meal, I eat this this day a lot more often. Here, it's the last Thursday in July. That makes it National Chili Dog Day. On this last Thursday in July, hot dog lovers across the United States start topping their hot dogs with delicious chili to celebrate National Chili Dog Day, also known as a coney dog or chili con carne. The first person to make a chili dog probably tried it about 120 years ago. Even then, it was likely a meat and tomato sauce, but not the full chili base that you all know and love today. Even now, chili dogs gain gourmet status depending on where you go. There's a good-looking chili dog right there. Chili dogs are a meal all their own. Grab one at the ballpark or maybe set up a chili dog bar and enjoy. Now, you will eat a good chili dog, I'm presuming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife has food for our coaches after all of our games, and she has a hot dog, chili dog bar from time to time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just to mix it up for us, and that's always one of the favorites.
We'll talk about that a little bit because I'm assuming the coaches get fed after the game. The players all get fed too, right?
No. Well, not for home games. They're on their own. No, not by us. The moms do something for road games, but no, we don't do anything for home games. We just
Well, I
get
see
them out
now.
of there.
That makes sense. I can understand that.
Right.
What else going on today, ladies and gentlemen? Today is also, it's kind of been an interesting day. It kind of all goes together, although I do not enjoy this nearly as much, and I actually at all. National Scotch Day is on July 27th. This is recognized an aged whiskey distilled from malted barley. Make a toast on National Scotch Day. Maybe share a drink with a friend. Since Scotch is protected by law, specific guidelines must be followed when when distilling the liquor to be able to label it Scotch. That's the thing. The Scotch must be aged in oak barrels for at least 3 years and have a alcohol by volume of less than 90%. Must be made in Scotland, and another requirement includes that the grain is used in the fermenting process. In Scotch, only malted barley may be used. Okay. Same question, basically. Same. Scotch whiskey dates back to what century?
Oh, man. I would say
A Scottish taxman first recorded taxing the spirit in this year of this century. Since then, Scotch, barley malt, and grain have been in and out of the shadows.
I would say it was the 1200s.
That's a great guess. I just don't think it got taxed until the 1400s.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm certain they were drinking Scotch.
They would have a Scotch a time or two in the 12 and 1300s.
From here and there in the 12 and 1300s.
They just hadn't figured out how to make money out of it.
Yeah, hadn't figured out how to tax it. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, since 1490, what was that? 1494. Yeah, 1494, the first time it was taxed. So that kind of tells you a little bit about Scotch. Enjoy the day, ladies and gentlemen. What do you want to see on television tonight here on this Thursday evening? Well, the Chicago Cubs are going to be in St. Louis this evening. It is on Bally, Channel 630, Marquee, Channel 597 at 6:45 tonight. Justin Steele versus Miles Michaelis. I don't believe Michaelis is going to be part of the trade stuff, so he'll probably still be there. And again, like I said, that's at 6:45 tonight. Also at 6:10 tonight, the Washington Nationals will be at the New York Mets. That's going to be on Major League Baseball Network, Channel 599. Josiah Gray versus Kodai Senga. Of course, one other thing going on in sports during the weeks right now, the Women's World Cup is continuing. Do you watch the Women's World Cup?
I haven't yet this year, but I have in the past, and I will watch it if it's on. It's exciting stuff.
It's exciting stuff.
I do. I enjoy it.
Group G continues tonight at 8 p.m. Argentina plays South Africa. That's on Fox Sports 1. And then overnight at 4:30, it'll be England versus Denmark. And then tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., it is China versus Haiti. This is Kevin Greene. I'm Bruce Dickey. You're watching Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. We're going to come back talk Salem football right after these words. Do please stick around.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LeMansOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
I'm Dr. Eric Pikus. I'm a general practice physician here at CRHPC, and I work at the Clay Medical Center in Flora. One of the things that I love about working for CRHPC is the fact that it's a federally qualified healthcare center. And that means that we can take care of any patient, whatever the case may be. We don't have to worry about their financial situation. And I love the fact that we can take care of anybody that needs our help. So no matter what care somebody needs, we're going to give them the best possible care available without judgment.
Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It is all things new at Zimdar's Heating, Air Conditioning, and Appliance Repair. We have a new line of heating and cooling equipment and new technicians. Our new equipment line offers 24 months free financing and excellent warranty coverage. Our experienced service technicians can provide you with quality service and repairs on all brands of HVAC equipment. Zimdar's has been serving Clay County and the surrounding areas for over 23 years. The employees of Zimdar's are here to help, so call local and call Zimdar's.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Big Talk with Bruce Dickey here on Wabash Catch TV. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, my guest is, of course, Kevin Greene. He's been here how many years? I guess you've done this every year for me, haven't you?
Yeah, I think 2018 would have been our first year, maybe 2018. Yeah, so it's been a few years. Yeah.
How in the heck do you remember that?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's pretty good.
Right.
That is very impressive.
Right.
Yeah, 2018. This was the first time that you and I did this together, and we have seen kind of like your entire career at Salem. There have been wild changes of expectations as well as results over the course of the years, haven't there?
I would say that's probably true. Yeah, I mean, our first several years there, we struggled, but I think it was just an adaptation of we were in a tough league, and our numbers were not very good at the time, and we kind of fought through some of that. And mentioned coming on in 2018 is the first time. That was the first year we really had that kind of started to turn the corner a little bit and get some success. And we've been fortunate the last several years.
Made a couple of playoffs.
Yeah, made the playoffs 3 times. Felt like in 2020, the pandemic year, we had a playoff team that year as well. Last year was a little bit of a bump in the road, but our numbers have been really good, and a lot of work's been put in by our coaches and kids, and kind of get us on the right path.
Let's talk a little bit about last year's team. Last year, how many seniors did you lose from last year's squad?
We had 6 seniors, really probably 3 or 4 of them that were in the rotation on both sides of the ball in some capacity. So. It's challenging in any high school sport when you don't have veterans out there to help carry the load from a production standpoint and a leadership standpoint. And our seniors were great kids. They did everything that they could. But when you're on a football team of 45 to 50 kids, it's tough, and we struggled in that area. We struggled in production, and we struggled with leadership. And I thought they gave us everything they could, but it was a fight sometimes.
It was, and that's the thing, and that's something that over the years you've been able to learn. Every year is different, of course,
for sure,
and you learn to deal with the ups and downs. And sometimes you have more ups than downs. Sometimes you have more downs than ups. But it also is kind of telling you, and you hate to say character building, but it really you get to see what makes up kids, don't you?
No, I think you do. It reveals, anytime you deal with adversity, it reveals who you are a little bit. And I think that's true of kids. I think it's true of adults and coaches and all that kind of stuff. So, and we had plenty of those opportunities last year. Unfortunately, we did. I mean, that's just the way it went.
That's the way. Here's what before we get into this, let me ask you one other thing before we get into this. We talked about you were in the Apollo.
Yes.
For the first part of your tenure at...
they went into the Apollo Conference in 2002.
Right after the NEC.
Yep, right after the NEC. And then when I got there in 2011, we were in the Apollo until 2016.
The Apollo was kind of, at the time you guys left, it was starting to... Well, it's changed quite a bit since 2016.
Yeah, geographically and talent-wise. I mean, I think there's still a tremendous amount of depth in that conference, but geographically they were kind of going a different direction than what we were wanting to go from a travel standpoint, and we just had an opportunity to get into the Cahokia in 2017, and we couldn't pass it up.
I guess that's what I'm kind of trying to lean to. And whenever you did get into the Cahokia, it took a couple of years to work itself into the current form that it's in now.
Yes.
Because they ended up going to 18 teams in 3 different levels.
Right. Yeah, I think that would have been in 2019 or 2020 was when they divided things up. But the first couple of years we were in the league, it was one large league, and it was a good fit for us. And since they've changed some things up, I still think it's a good fit for us. Our travel's a little bit further, but we're still okay with it.
You're still playing 5 teams in conference.
Correct. 5 conference games, 4 non-conference.
5 conference games. Columbia is usually a pretty doggone good team. How did Columbia? They beat Breeze Central, didn't they? That's how they were able to take the representative.
Yeah, they had a quarterback who actually was drafted by
Vaguely.
Yes, he was drafted into the MLB as a pitcher, and he has a full ride to Kansas as a pitcher as well.
Is he going to sign? I didn't realize he got drafted. Do you remember?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but he was a great kid, and he's a really good player.
We
at
saw
the
him play
quarterback
baseball.
spot. Yeah, he's an awfully good athlete.
Yeah, it was.
Good player.
But anyway, Columbia won the conference last year, lost in the first week of the playoffs. Breeze won a playoff game. Roxana won a playoff game.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's interesting, and Wood River back up to good shape. This is kind of Roxana and Wood River had been down for a little bit.
They had.
It didn't surprise you at all to see their kind of resurgence, did it?
No, they had veteran teams, and they had their coaches have done a great job, and they played like veteran teams last year. They had nice kids at the upper classes, and they had some young kids that were pretty good as well. And they were a tough out for a lot of teams last year.
Well, the Shells, they're former state champions. I think like 15 or 20 years ago.
There's some pedigree there.
There's
some pedigree there for sure.
There's quite a bit of pedigree. So over the course of the season, started off essentially lost a couple of games in that first three that probably not as close as you'd liked them to have been, especially, but a nice win over Alton Marquette. And then Wood River was a tight one all the way through, wasn't it?
I think that, you look at the Centralia and the Olney games, score-wise, they were not overly competitive. I think they were more competitive than what the score indicated.
Playoff teams,
and they were playoff teams, yeah. I mean, and both those teams are going to be solid again this year. Wood River was a game, we felt like, as you look back on it, there's always a few things that you want to change. I think we let a few things get away from us that night that could have changed the outcome. But
the other thing the other thing you take a look at that, 6 out of the first 7 teams you played made the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we had the second most playoff points of anybody in our league at 44, right. So I felt, our schedule was pretty strong, and and the results showed that at times as well.
Let's take a quick final look at that. But you're able to get a nice win over Freeburg at the end of the year, and that's also cool. Able to get a win at home against Freeburg, and that means something when you're struggling through the course of the season, doesn't it?
It does. I think it shows. You talked about character. You talk about leadership. It showed some of how some of our young guys reacted in a Week 8 game. Freeburg came to our place at 3-4, had to win to stay alive, and they were still playing for a lot. We were playing for pride, and that was a game that I felt like the score probably was not indicative of the way the game was. We really controlled that game throughout.
Well, I was going to say, as I recall.
And felt really good about how our kids played, and really felt good about how our kids finished the season, to be truthful.
Well, that's half the battle.
Yeah, I think it is.
And then when that just kind of starts the impetus going into the not the postseason, but the off season,
right,
where the kids will get out and work. Right.
Right. I think it just gives you something to hang your hat on, and say, okay, we struggled, but we were doing some things right, and we started to get some things going at the end, and just came up a play short there to Charleston at the end, and on senior night, but no, I think it gave our kids some momentum heading into the offseason and some confidence more than anything else.
That Charleston game, I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back talk a little bit more about the Charleston game. You're watching Big Talk with Bruce Dickey right after. We'll be back right after this with Coach Kevin Greene.
At Midwest Farm and Land, we've got a team of dedicated land, home, and commercial experts ready to help.
We understand that buying or selling a property can be extremely stressful. Let our folks take care of you and help you find your perfect piece of property.
Whether it's recreational or hunting land, farmland, homes, or commercial, we're there to help.
Local experts with national reach. If you're interested, give us a call, 618-532-1961, or check us out on the website, midwestfarmco.com.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont's always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LaMonsOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
For service beyond the surface, call Carter Trucking in Fairfield. Carter's trucks are ready to haul your big freight and grain. So whatever you call Jeremy Carter, the Mucho Mulcho Man, the driveway doctor, the gravel guru, the pothole pirate, the rockin' redneck, the smooth operator, the mudhole master, or the happy hauler, just call him. 842-2022 to haul your big freight, grain, and more with trucks from Carter Trucking, Williamson Drive in Fairfield.
Hey folks, welcome back. Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. I've got Coach Kevin Greene here. Okay, we were going to talk a little bit about the Charleston game.
Okay.
I had, it was last October, so
Sure.
I don't remember where I slept last, let alone last October.
Right.
We did the game, and and it was a wonderful game, tight, back and forth, back and forth.
It was a good football game.
And in last game of the year, both teams realized that they're not going to the playoffs. Neither team's going for a playoff.
Correct.
You scored basically on the last play of the game.
Yeah, there was I think there was about 20 seconds left, give or take. Yeah.
Relatively close.
Yeah, pulled it to 14-13 with 20 seconds or so.
And had you ran the ball down the field for the most part.
Correct.
With your quarterback as well as your running back.
Right.
And was there what went into the thought process of going for it as opposed to taking the time to take the tie and go to overtime, as opposed to going for it, falling just short of getting into the end zone on the last play?
I think it was just the fact that they had swung the momentum a little bit in their favor. Other than the last drive to score, we had struggled offensively, and we'd turned it over a couple times in the second half. And we put a drive together there though, and felt like we had some really good momentum going into that last play before the touchdown, and just said, we're gonna win or lose the game right here. I wasn't interested in going to overtime because I just think those situations can be really hard when you're first and goal from the 10. Those are difficult situations to defend and to attack offensively.
If I recall, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it was a handoff that was a throw to the end zone, wasn't it?
Yeah, we ran a handoff on the fourth down play that got us
to get into the end zone.
But then when we went for two, we decided to try and put
left
the ball in
corner.
Yeah, we went to the far corner and got Sam out of the pocket and tried to throw it up to our big tight end. And Charleston kid made a great play on it and tipped the ball, and our tight end just couldn't quite come up with it. It was just came up one play short. Right?
One play short.
Yeah.
That happens, but
it does.
But you mentioned though, even though playing that last game well, that doesn't give a good start. How long did it take the kids to get into the weight room?
We have weight training class at the school, and we have so many kids that do stuff on their own at the gym. I really don't worry too much about that kind of stuff. We don't start doing anything with our off-season program, the guys that are not in a winter sport, until after Christmas break. We give them some time off, and then we'll start doing some things with the guys who are doing track and what have you. But no, I mean, I think, that was a loss that stung, especially stung for our kids who are returning. Again, I think they were pretty motivated, pretty quickly after that game to start building the foundation for this year.
That kind of the holding off to start the preseason, the off-season training and stuff, that kind of fits in with your whole philosophy, doesn't it?
It does.
Of the wind sprint philosophy,
Yeah.
and talk a little bit about that.
No, we're just, we kind of do we're kind of a less is more type program, and I think a lot of programs have kind of adopted that. I know Olney has been real big into it as well. But yeah, anything we do, we try to really emphasize speed and development of speed, and you can't be at your fastest when you're tired. And I would rather have a fast kid who's slightly fatigued in the fourth quarter than a kid who's in great shape but he's not as fast. And because speed wins you games, and especially in high school football. And so yeah, we've kind of adopted that philosophy, and we've kept it going. And
where did you get that?
I think it's been a
You went to this like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, we did. Actually, in the first year we were here, it was our first year I came here. It was the first year we'd really done it. And but yeah, it's just kind of a,
because I was fascinated by the whole thing.
Well, when we grew up, it was all about the 5 hour practices and the sprints and just beating your body up and honestly, I had been that way too for the better part of my coaching career, because that's all I knew and that's all most people knew. But yeah, I mean, we kind of tell our kids, if you're not 100% healthy and at your absolute fastest, you're not as good as you can be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of, we don't practice. Our practices are never longer than 2 hours total time, and that includes warm up and water breaks and whatever. So I mean, our total practice time is never more than 90 minutes usually.
Right.
So
do the kids talk to kids from other school and other schools and they're saying, no, we're just, coach made us run forever and ever. Do they chat with other kids?
It's funny, they don't really need to, because they can see stuff on social media now. I mean, they can just see things on Twitter and Snapchat that these other schools are doing. And I think there's quite a few schools that have adopted a similar philosophy to us, but there's also, quite a few that still do the conditioning tests and all that kind of stuff. Exactly. And I think our kids recognize how fortunate they are to not be out there for 3.5, 4 hours getting beat up. And I'll tell you who it's really made a difference for too is our coaches.
Really?
Our coaches show up, they're motivated, our segments are short, they know what they've got to get done, they get it done, and we move on, and they're home. We don't meet on the weekends and review film for 6 or 8 hours, and everybody has their stuff that they look at, and they do their work when they have time to do it.
Do the work when you
have time to do it. If you got family stuff, go do your family stuff. If you're going to do it Sunday night, do it Sunday night. I do my stuff on Sunday morning individually, but it's really been a huge benefit for us.
Your coaches just must love if they have been in other programs.
Yeah, I hope they do. I mean, we try to.
I mean, you've been in other programs,
right? For sure. And we used to meet on the weekends and spend hours watching film and meeting, and it was just like, what are we doing here? This is crazy. We can do this on our own, and text message back and forth any ideas that we have, and. Yeah, it's cool. Been a game changer.
That's probably kind of helped along with the you don't have to pick up a tape, and you don't have to all sit together and watch one tape at a time.
Right. The technology has definitely helped that.
Yeah,
no question about it. Yeah, I mean, you can watch film from your lazy boy with your laptop.
Right.
All you need is an internet connection.
And your assistant coach can be doing the same thing.
He's got what he watches exactly when he's available.
And then if he sees something that he likes, he'll tell you, hey, look, I saw the tight end here is getting off a line early. This is some key.
That's exactly how it works. Yeah,
is that right?
That's exactly how it works. And if he texts me or I text him and or them, and they are doing something and they don't get back right away, then they're doing something. They'll get back to me at some point.
That's outstanding.
It's high school football.
I
think sometimes I think sometimes adults lose the focus of that. It shouldn't dominate our lives.
It's dominant. Come on.
Right. We try to not make it that way.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
We're going to come right back. We're going to talk about this year's team when we return. You're watching Big Talk with Bruce Dickey, Kevin Greene, Salem High School football coach. Back in a sec. Having car trouble, need a tow, or just some routine maintenance? Butcher Automotive in Louisville has you covered. Locally owned and operated, Butcher Automotive offers complete vehicle repair services along with tire sales and wheel alignment. They're your local Hankook tire and interstate battery dealer. Butcher Automotive offers free local pickup and delivery so your car can be repaired while you're at work or at home. Butcher strives to treat everyone's vehicle as their own. At Butcher Automotive, they don't want you to give them your business, they want to earn it.
Residents of the Clay County and surrounding area have relied on Clay County State Bank for sound professional service for over 100 years. With convenient lobby and drive-up hours, we are ready to serve you Monday through Saturday. We appreciate all who bank with us, and we look forward to the opportunity of working with anyone who is looking for a community bank to help with their financial needs. Give us a call at 665-3314, visit us online, or stop by and see us on the square in Louisville to experience our friendly personal service.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Le Mans Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Le Mans always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at lemansonline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
I thought I'd lost my business in that fire, but my agent was there before the flames were out. He said, together, we're going to rebuild. Our employees depended on it. My independent agent and auto owners made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there. Auto Owners Insurance. North Wayne Insurance Agency in Flora is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Big Talk with Bruce Dickey here on Wabash Catch TV. Kevin Greene is the guest. He is head coach of Salem High School football, and he's been there, what did we say, 13 years?
This will be 13, yeah. Yep, number 13.
Good grief. You must have started when you were a child.
I was 23 when I got my first head job up at Piatone High School, and I was there for 12 years. Yeah, and then we moved down to Salem.
This year, the interesting thing, and we've talked about this in the past. One of the interesting things about high school kids in general, but football in particular, is the cycle.
Sure.
Of athletes.
Yeah.
And some years you have a large crew that works very hard, and in some years you have maybe not quite as large a crew that just is a little short-handed.
Sure.
You lost 12 seniors last year.
Six
seniors.
Yeah.
You lost 6 seniors last year. Not a ton of the skill positions, but you got to replace your fullback.
Yeah, Cason Solons was a load. I mean, he carried the load for us a lot last year, and we're going to have to, I think if there's a spot offensively for us right now that we're really has been a focus for us this summer to try and find some people who can run the football from that running back spot. Cason just did such a great job carrying the load. Gervais Mays got some carries back there for us as well, and in high school football, you still have to be able to run the ball and stop the run, and we've got that's a big hole to fill.
What are we thinking? What's the line of thinking then for this year's? Who's going to fill the hole? I know that the quarterback spot is kind of locked in.
Yeah, Sam's been a 2-year starter for us,
Greene,
and does a great job. As long as his father doesn't screw him up, he does great, right?
I'm as used to using cliches as the next guy.
Sure,
but it is kind of true. The coach's kid is a gym rat and gets a little bit more experience than most other kids do.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think maybe our family's probably a little bit different. I mean, Trevor was a pretty good player for us as a fullback and a linebacker, and Sam's been a very good quarterback for us. I really haven't. I mean, if they want to go up to the school and lift or shoot around or throw the ball around, I'll go up there with them, but they've both been pretty self-driven. I mean, they just kind of do their thing, and they know what they need to do to be successful. And Sam, he's had a good 2 years, and I know he's really invested, and he's ready to have a good senior year.
Who's he going to have back there in the backfield with him? Do we know yet?
Yeah, I mean, he'll have Caleb Smith's going to get a few carries and a few opportunities. Connor Tennyson will get some opportunities back there. Connor was hurt last year, didn't play at all. Jeremiah Reinhardt will also figure into that mix, and we've got a couple other younger kids that might be able to crack the lineup too. We've got a lot of options, just none of them with a ton of experience.
Well, that's the interesting thing when you're talking about the options. You can also talk about your wide receivers. You've got Etris coming back, and he will probably. I'm guessing that he may also factor into the run game here as well.
He could. I mean, Miking is one of those kids that really has grown up since his freshman year. I mean, he's always had athletic ability, but as we've experienced with high school kids, they all mature at different levels. And Miking, it took him about half the season last year to really realize what you had to do to prepare to play on Friday nights.
Really?
And I think that happens a lot when you have to play young kids. It takes some different spans of time.
How'd you tell? How could you tell that he was finally clicking for him?
He started to get open and catch the ball.
Really?
I mean, that's the bottom line. Yeah. I mean, when you play freshman, sophomore football, it's just so much different than
And
it is on
he was
Friday
probably
nights.
faster than most of the kids.
He's the fastest kid we have in our program.
Right.
I mean, he's he runs a legitimate 4.5, 5.40. He's very fast. And I think it just took him some time to get used to the physicality and being able to understand the schemes, because there's more plays that we have to have at our disposal on a Friday night. But miking he's definitely going to be a weapon, and we're glad to have him for this year and next year.
You'll have him for a couple of years. You've also got, what's the first name? Is it Lucas Black, wasn't it?
Lyric Black. Yeah, Lyric is also back. He did a really nice job at the slot receiver spot. Lyric will run the ball for us a little bit too in the backfield. Very shifty kid. Not maybe quite as fast in straight line speed as Miking, but he's got a lot of shake to him and can make you miss. And again, another kid we have back for this year and next year.
I was wondering, thinking of the athlete mix and the kids coming back. I'm guessing, having watched baseball and basketball the last couple of years, I'm assuming tight end looks perfect for Noah Nix.
Yeah, he started for us as a freshman, and last 2 games of the season he started week 9 against Charleston, and then in our playoff game against Breeze Central. And Noah doesn't say anything.
Really?
He just shows up and does his thing. He's a very invested kid, 3-sport guy. I mean, baseball is probably his main sport. But boy, is he invested in basketball and football too.
He looks like he enjoys the heck of what
he does, and he's a great teammate. He's got so many things that he does well. He's improved his speed and strength over the offseason. He's actually trimmed his weight down just a little bit, and he's playing a little bit faster. So we're really excited to have him back. And again, another kid we've got for 2 years.
How's the offensive line looking?
We're looking good. I mean, we had several kids back from last year. We'll have our left tackle will be a senior, Landon Binion. Cole Wimberly is a junior at guard who started last year all year. Alex Tate's going to be a junior, started all year last year. Wyatt Jones played quite a bit for us last year as a senior at right guard. He'll be back. And then Brennan Lux or Briar Hills, senior or sophomore at right tackle. We've got some kids who can play up front.
That experience in the line is truly it's a must-have, isn't it?
It really is. And, it's funny, as the game, as we've watched the high school game in particular, and the game overall evolve into the spread concepts and all this other stuff, it still comes down to being able to block, being able to stop the run defensively with your front four.
Keep your quarterback
You've
clean.
got to protect those skill kids. It doesn't matter how fast they are.
Right.
And to have that type of veteran group back up front is going to be really comforting, I think, to our skill guys and myself as a coach and a play caller.
You've got people that you can depend on.
Right.
You've got experience.
It's a trust. It's a trust type thing for sure.
Tell me a little bit about the defensive side.
It's kind of it's a similar situation. We return probably 6 or 7 kids defensively up front that all worked in for us the last year and even the year before some.
Like I say, that's kind of
we've got a veteran group up there.
This kind of goes along with what you've been trying to do with when we talk about the conditioning. Is part of the goal is to make sure that the front 7 or 8 is always fresh.
Right. We do everything.
To rotate people
if we have to play a skill kid both ways or time and a half, I don't have an issue with that as much, but we do everything we can to keep our linemen going one way.
Right.
I just think that's really important. I think it makes a big difference in the second half, and our successful teams that we've had the last several years have been able to do that. But yeah, we've got a healthy number of kids coming back up front. Caleb Smith is back at the middle linebacker spot. This will be his 4th year starting at middle linebacker. He's just an anchor for us, leader, just an unbelievable state champion in the track and field season. And then
he was all conference last year, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah.
Yep. Just missed out by like 0.2 grade point average of being all state academic. Just a great kid in our hallways. And we'll return 2 or 3 kids. Lyric Black will return in the secondary. Cooper Lobeck, a returning kid who started all year in the secondary for us, will be back as well.
So you're going to try to keep Greene out of the secondary sub?
We're going to do everything we can.
Yeah.
Just because he's going to have to.
Job.
He's got a full-time job already, right? Yeah. Exactly.
How about before we go to the next break? Tell me about the how's the specialists looking? What do we got?
Very good.
Are we going to go for 2? We're going to go.
No. We have a soccer kid, Max Ambiel, kicked for us last year and punted. Did a great job. Hasn't missed a night of camp all summer, and
you gotta love it.
No, he's all in. He's all in. He shows up.
Soccer kid that's coming to camp
does everything we ask him to do, and shows shows up with his helmet and shoulder pads ready to go.
Does he ever try to hit anybody?
He does. Yeah. We get him involved in tackling drills and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, he's really invested. He's a great teammate, and so yeah, we're in pretty good shape there for another year.
Well, that's outstanding. Talking with Coach Kevin Greene, we're going to wrap up here after this next break. We're going to talk about the rest of the conference a little bit more, about what we can expect this year. Might even sneak in a little bit of Illinois football talk, as you've got a connection.
Sure.
We'll be right back after this. Please do stick around.
In 1916, Warren Miller chose Auto Owners Insurance. Later, his son made the same choice, as did his grandson. And today, his great-granddaughter did the same. As we reflect on where we've been, we're grateful to our independent agents and to those who have put their trust in us, and to the generations who will. Auto Owners Insurance.
Harrison Insurance in Louisville is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Make Carnaby Square in downtown Fairfield your fashion leader. We're the little boutique with the big inventory of beautiful, trendy outfits and clothing in a wide array of your favorite name brands. And don't forget our large selection of jewelry and accessories. Carnaby Square is Southern Illinois' largest dealer of Brighton. At Carnaby Square, we take pride in our one-on-one, knowledgeable customer service and look forward to helping you create your own special look. Plus, always free gift wrapping. Find endless gift ideas 24/7 at CarnabySquare.com and on our Facebook page. Shop the fashion leader in downtown Fairfield, Carnaby Square.
Napa know-how.
At Flora Auto Parts, you can count on the Napa know-how experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, your locally owned Napa store carries a large inventory of parts for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced counter people understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa know-how at Flora Auto Parts.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LeMansOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
Excited about that.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. Joined here by Kevin Greene. He is the head coach of Salem High School football, also the athletic director. Got a good volleyball team coming in this year, right?
I think so, yeah. We're excited about, our senior class last year was just kind of they were great kids. There just wasn't a lot of athletic depth in that group. And I think, our football team, we talked about the youth of our team last year. Really, that was the case for an awful lot of our sports. There was a lot of youth, and we've got a lot of kids back in a lot of our sports.
Cross country's got a nice year playing out. I'm just talking about the fall sports.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, cross country's going to be solid. Our boys soccer team is really heading in the right direction.
I thought they were.
Yeah, they're going to be very competitive.
When exactly does bowling count?
What do you mean?
I mean, they seem to play tournaments all year long.
Well, individually they can, but the bowling season starts usually like that first week in November for the IHSA.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
And our bowling team will be solid again this year.
I was going to say the bowling team is.
Coach Ludwig's got a machine going in that bowling area right now, man. He's just he does such a good job.
That's outstanding. But let's talk a little bit about this year's. What are we going to expect in the? Let's go to let's talk about the season first of all. You got 5 home games. That's always a good thing to have.
It is. Yeah, I mean, you'd always rather play at home. That's for sure. And it's nice too. Yeah, it is. I don't like that as the athletic director or the football coach, but no, I mean, I think you got a chance to open up your first 2 games at home. Obviously, with a cross county rival with Centralia in the Shrine game, and that's such a huge rivalry and a special game to be a part of. Alt Marquette has struggled the last few years, but they got a new coach over the offseason, so I'm sure they're going to be a salty group. Mount Zion is a team we picked up a few years ago, just a 2-year deal as a non-conference game week 3, and they return a healthy number. Breeze Central beat them in the first round last year.
That was where the Olney game was.
It was, yeah.
Okay.
The Olney had an issue with their conference schedule changing, so we couldn't fulfill the rest of that contract.
Okay, and then you get back into conference play with Wood River, East Wall, and we plan, by the way, folks, if you're making plans here on Wabash, we do plan to shoot all 5 of those home games, I believe. So,
fantastic.
So
love having you guys over. But yeah, Wood River, a surprise team a little bit last year. They were a very veteran team last year, but their coaches and their kids do a great job. They're very physical, and Roxana's the same way. Coach DeVries does a great job there, and they've got a ton of kids back. And then a tough road trip to Breeze Central, which is never easy. Doesn't matter what type of talent they have. Yeah. Coach Short, those guys are always so well coached, and their kids are going to be tough.
Columbia, October week 7, they lost a lot, didn't they, Coach?
Yeah, they were pretty senior dominated. But again, just like, it seems like you say this about every team, but every program in our league is just so well coached, and Coach Horner's he'll have an answer, I have no doubt. That'll be a tough, it's our homecoming and our senior night game, so that'll be a tough challenge for us.
7 weeks into the season. That's homecoming, huh? Yep. Okay, yeah, so and then looking at Freeburg and Charleston after that.
Yeah, you never want to end, it's tough to end your season with 2 straight home or road games, but that's what we've got this year, and we're just worried about getting started and trying to get off on the right foot. We haven't been able to do that very often. Centralia's had a really good run of some good athletes. Their coaches do a great job, and it's always a tough mark that first week of the season. So we're just, we just know we need to play better.
That's kind of the cool thing,
we did last year.
I mean, now granted, we were talking about Centralia having good, well coached, but that's also, it's kind of fun that even though they're non-conference, Centralia is the bane of some people from Salem's existence, and the same thing from Salem and being Centralia.
Exactly, I think that's true for both communities, and it's I think it's just one of those things. It's kind of the tip of the sword, if you will, for the athletic seasons, as a whole, and the first time that in large numbers people get to go out and watch a high school sporting event, and when you'll have
a huge crowd for that.
We always do. Doesn't matter where it's at, whether it's at Centralia or Salem. Both communities are always so well represented. Student bodies get T-shirts and all that kind of stuff, and it's been an incredibly fun game to be a part of. Yeah. I know, speaking from the Salem side, we need to turn around the wins and losses of that rivalry the last few years, but we were competitive with them last year with a young group, and really, honestly, the year before that, we were ahead in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you were.
2019, we were ahead at one point, and we just it's been a competitive.
Got to finish it out.
Yeah, we got to finish it out. It's been a competitive rivalry though the last several years, and looking forward to another chapter of it this year.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. It sounds like there's a lot coming back. When you look at a percentage of offense coming back, you're probably looking at 60 or 70%, and that's pretty good.
I would say so, and that's always a good place to start. And I think we've got a healthy number of kids defensively back, percentage-wise, as far as production, and I think that's also a really good place to start.
How you doing in numbers?
We'll be close to 70, 65 to 70. So that's, not as good as what we've been the last several years, but again, like we mentioned earlier, it's kind of the ebb and flow that we're in right now, and I think we'll be able to field 3 levels again, which, we've been fortunate enough to do the last several years.
That was going to be my next question. Mm-hmm. Over the course of the last several years, a lot of schools have dealt with not being able to field a freshman team or field a JV team. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a luxury to be able to do that, isn't it?
It really is, because I think it helps parlay your numbers moving forward, because those kids are getting to play games and getting to see some of the fruits of the labor that they put in throughout the summer and the preseason.
I got to ask an AD question. How difficult of a time are you having getting officials? The reason I asked, Flora got a call 2 days ago from a set of officials and said, well, we're retiring. The whole crew retired, not just one of them. Yeah. And with 3 weeks away for the season or something.
Yeah, we fortunately, knock on wood, we have not had that issue. I will tell you though that I am in the process right now of finalizing our football officials for 2027.
Are you really?
Yeah, and I've had a few crews tell me that they're not sure they're going to be around still in 2027 doing it, and I understand. It's a commitment, and yeah, I mean, I don't know that I've had as much trouble as some of the horror stories that I've heard, but I've only been doing it for 1 year too. Yeah, so we'll see.
And I mean, I do it with every chance I get on television, and I'm sure you will too. if you have any interest in doing it, by all means, you're helping out the kids. It's a lot of fun, and it pays. It's granted, and you play as a football official, you're not hearing nearly as much guff as the basketball official.
No. And I think especially when you talk about football, it's such a there's such a team camaraderie thing to it with a 5-man crew. They travel together most times, and I think by and large football coaches have really taken a step back from the yelling and the screaming that we used to do when we were younger, maybe, or whatever, just because right. I mean, it's just those guys are out there working hard. They're not making a ton of money, and they're doing it for, like you said, the kids in your program to be able to play. And they're human beings. They're not going to be perfect, but honestly, we've had great crews the last several years, and we've got several good crews coming up this year that we're going to have. And
you're fortunate you've got some pretty good local crews that are still doing it.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could you hate to name any because you'd leave people out.
Right, exactly.
Look at Spanky, for crying out loud.
Yeah, we try to get him and his crew through every year. He really helps us out with our lower class games. He really helps us field the officials for those games. And Spanky's crew, and then Jay Miller and Brent Garrison, they've got a really good crew. I can't get them back on our schedule because they're booked out through 28, I think. Honestly, I think that's what Brent told me the other day.
30 or something.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's the direction it's heading. So,
well, that's why Fairfield's picking up a Thursday game, and they're playing. They're opening the season on a Thursday.
I had a crew tell me the only dates they had in 2027 were Saturdays at this point.
Is that right?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. That's crazy.
That's 4 years from now.
It is. You are correct.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna change the subject. 4 years from now, are we going to talk about Brett Bielema, head coach of the national champion University of Illinois Fighting Illini?
I don't know that I can make that prediction. But I do think that they will continue the upswing that they're on right now. I mean, I think he's got them heading in the right direction, and the climate there is much different than it was for a long time.
We've switched over to college football. It is an interesting schedule this year.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Of course they're playing their 6 teams in their division, but the other side is not that bad.
Their crossovers aren't what they were.
Crossovers are Maryland, Michigan State, and Penn State.
Correct.
And Penn State's going to be good, but they're catching them early, maybe before Penn State gets on a roll.
Right.
And it's at home. And Maryland they're a similar program.
I think so, and that's a scary game. It's on the road, and they've got the Tagovailoa young man back at quarterback, who's a game changer. That'll be an interesting matchup.
What do you think about Ryan Walters? How's he going to do at Purdue? Is it going to be a pretty good transition there from Jeff Brom?
I think it's going to take.
They really had it going in the right direction.
I think there were a lot of people at Purdue that didn't like him that much, though. Yeah, I just got a bad vibe from some of the Purdue fans that they weren't as all in on him. Yeah, they weren't as all in on him. I think Walters.
Maybe they thought he had a foot out the door.
I think the one thing about Walters is he's going to be able to recruit. Yeah. He's going to get the right kids there, and if you're running a college program these days. You got to get the athletes on campus before you worry about anything else.
What do you think of Matt Rule going to Nebraska?
I think that makes the West even that much more competitive.
Yeah, it's going to be. I give him a year or two. And
I think it'll take a minute, but it's not going to take as long as it used to. With the transfer portal and the opportunities that kids have to move elsewhere, it's not going to take as long to rebuild as what it used to.
I am just waiting to crush Luke Fickell somehow. I
know.
I'm so hopeful.
I know. As if you need another reason to not like Wisconsin. Yeah, I would agree with that. For sure.
I mean, the doggone year that he coached Ohio State and Illinois had a chance.
There's a lot of luggage there with him.
I'm very bitter. Heck, I shouldn't even be bitter about Luke Fickell when what's his name, PJ Fleck is right next door.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy up there in that Minnesota program. That's
Ladies
for sure.
and gentlemen, I have clear problems that I need to look at in hatred for the other team. But you're going to work out your problems all over the course of the next 8 weeks.
We will.
Next 12 weeks.
Do everything we can.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
for being
it.
here.
Always fun.
I'm glad you had fun. And best of luck to the Wildcats. Best of luck to the Wildcats. Hope you fans enjoy the games this year. They're going to be a hoot. We've got 5 of them at home. Get out there. If you're not watching on TV here, get out there and watch the games in person. We'll see y'all next time on Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. Have a great day.